Hey, what's going on? Nick Unsworth here, and I'm a kick-ass business coach, and I'm on an absolute mission to help you find your purpose in life, to help you love what you do for work every single day, to help you be the rock star that you are meant to be, to make more money than you ever thought was possible, and to have more time freedom so you can actually enjoy the life that you're living. I'm here to help you set your life on fire.
This is 007, James Bond, and you're watching Life on Fire TV.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Nick Unsworth here, and welcome to another episode of Life on Fire TV. This is our Hump Day Q&A style. All right, so basically, if you're watching this fresh and live, it's Wednesday, it's Hump Day, and this is a little something, just a little push, a little hump, a little something to get you through the week. And basically what we've got going on here today, how this works is someone sends in a question. You just go to lifeonfirequestions.com and you just type in any questions that you have. We pick and choose. We've got our community, so we're pulling questions from our Facebook group, from our customers, and then go to if you're not a customer yet, go to lifeonfirequestions.com and just share what's on your mind. How can I help and how can I serve you and how can I get you to the next level? So let me know and I'll do my best to answer these questions for you. So what I have here is my main man, Eric C. So Eric is asking, Nick, I heard about your Telesummit strategy on a previous call. What was that about? So basically, on one of our coaching calls, I have got this strategy that ties in with a product launch, and it's called the Telesummit strategy. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this notebook on the ground, and I'm going to share with you guys a strategy that is absolutely phenomenal. It's something that I used to go from $50,000 in debt to grow and to build my life on fire, where I'm loving what I do every day, living in abundance. And so to put it in perspective, if you've ever had a situation where you were unhappy, or if you ever had a situation where you were in debt, or a time in your life where things just weren't working out for you, right? That's the place I was coming from. And what ended up happening is I started in business as a Facebook marketing expert with no experience, and I was up against the wall, and I said, you know what? I have to just pull the trigger. It's literally sink or swim. I'm either going to get out of this, or I'm going to straight up have to file bankruptcy. I had an attorney actually tell me that I should be filing for bankruptcy. Ironically, I spoke at an event, Shanda Sumter's event. That attorney was there. How crazy is this? She lives in Connecticut. She flew to San Diego for an event, and I'm sharing the story about the attorney that wanted me to file bankruptcy, and she was there, and she stood up at the microphone. She's like, "Oh my God, Nick, that's me." And so anyway, I share that because no matter who you are, no matter where you've been in life, this strategy can dig you out of a hole. This strategy can also help you make an extra 6 figures in your business. So here we go. So it's called the Telesummit strategy. All that means is that it's meant to be done virtually. So what I want you to do is think about your industry, and I want you to then take a step back and think about who are the influencers in your industry. So if you're brand new like I was a Facebook marketing expert with not a lot of experience, and I didn't have any branding and no one knew who I was. So all I did was I created what's called the Facebook Mastery Summit. I created this thing, the Facebook Mastery Summit, and then I just went out to people that were already experts in the industry. And I reached out to this guy, Mike Koenigs, and I got one person that was an anchor, right? And an anchor means that's like the wall. If you think of a strip mall and there's a Walmart, all the other retail locations are all going to that strip mall because they know that Walmart is the anchor tenant. That's a real estate term, meaning they're the one that's the boss. And if they're there, then the place is going to be successful. So you get the one anchor. So in my case, I got someone that was influential in Facebook marketing. If you're in health and wellness, you could create a virtual health summit. And what if you get Jillian Michaels? What if you got, what's the guy's name with the hair? Richard Simmons, right? I mean, it sounds funny, but like if you were to get the influencer from that industry and put them on this virtual summit, and then once you have one successful person that's an influencer, then it's easy to go get another 10 people. So picture you've got the Facebook Mastery Summit, the Health and Fitness Summit, the Dog Training Summit, the interior decorating summit. So whatever your niche is, this works for anything. So step 1, get your influencer. Step 2, you leverage that influencer to get other people. Now, before I go on to step 2, as far as getting the person, what's crazy is that it's just about asking. People say all the time, like, how did you get Mike Koenigs for this? Or how'd you get Amy Porterfield on your summit? How'd you get a rep from Facebook on the summit? And I just asked and just figured that you have to frame it in a way that's going to add value for them. So as an example, when I reached out to Mike Koenigs, I knew that he had more influence than me. I knew that he was busy. So I came to him and said things like, hey, I'm going to promote you. I'm going to allow him to sell on it because it would allow him to earn revenue. He was the only person that could do that, but then I got him. So when you're networking with someone, it's always all about what's in it for me. That's what people are thinking selfishly in their own minds, and you have to make them an irresistible offer to get them to be a part of it. So keep that in mind. You've got to really stack the deck in their favor. But as soon as you get the first A player in your market to be a part of this virtual event where all you do is you interview them. And what happens is that it's basically like branding by association. So I went out, I got that first influencer, Mike Koenigs. I then reached out to all these other people and said things like, hey, I'd love to feature you on the Facebook Mastery Summit. Other speakers include Mike Koenigs, and I named off a couple obscure names. And I said, I'd love to feature you, and here's the benefits. And then I listed 5 benefits. And you know what happened? They looked at me and said, I have no idea who Nick is, but I know who this Mike Koenigs guy is. So they said yes. Then I went to the next person, and the next person, and the next person. And I did that until I had 15 people. And what happens is that because I was the creator of this thing, this Facebook Mastery Summit, that's all virtual, all I was doing was interviewing them. And by interviewing them, I was putting my face next to theirs, right? It's basically like branding and credibility by association. So because I was the guy that built the platform, because I was the guy that created and added value for all these people, everyone assumed that I knew what I was talking about because I was the host of the show, if you will, right? So once I got my list of 15 speakers, at that point, the next thing that I did was then I created a contest because I wanted the speakers that were a part of it to cross-promote. Because the whole purpose of doing this summit is to help you build an email list. And every successful business has an email list because you need to have an email list to communicate with your prospects to then turn your prospects into customers. So the Telesummit creates an email list, it creates customers, and it creates a business, right? So you give me someone that's hungry, you give me someone that has a passion and is in an industry, and I will, in less than 60 days, I can help someone build an email list of 5,000 people. I can help someone build a 6-figure business. And so this is so key. The cool thing is that leveraging this Telesummit not only builds your brand, but it builds an email list and it can grow your revenues. And so the way that works is when you have the 15 speakers, you want to make sure that you set it up in a way that you encourage them to cross-promote. So what happens is that you've got the 15 speakers, right? And you have a very simple opt-in page. So for the end consumers, they see, wow, Nick Unsworth has the Facebook Mastery Summit coming up. And wow, just for entering my email, I'm going to get a session with all 15 of these experts, right? Who they recognize the names from. And what happens is that I strongly encourage you to deliver those sessions live. Because when you deliver them live, that's where the rapport gets built and you're making an event out of it. So every Tuesday and Thursday, what I would do is that's when I would deliver the sessions. It was at the same time every Tuesday, every Thursday until we went through the 15 sessions. I would interview the experts. I would ask them to add value. I had, one person talking about contests on Facebook. I had Amy Porterfield talking about content. I had Ryan Dice's team talking about how they run their ads. I had Brian Moran talking about how to get likes, from Get 10,000 Fans. So I just directed them and I told them where I wanted them to go with their content. And they came on, they did presentations, and I guided them. And from that situation, we added value for the end consumers. So an end consumer looked at it and said, wow, I would love to be a part of Facebook Mastery Summit. I'll enter my email. Boom, as soon as I do that, I get access to 15 live sessions. The great thing is you can keep your costs low. You can deliver those sessions live using Google Hangout, or in my case, I just use GoToWebinar. But as you're doing that, you're building rapport with people. And when I started the entire project, I created a launch. And the key thing here is the fact that I created a launch, an event. So I had decent branding. I got a freelance graphic designer, and I created the Facebook Mastery Summit. And it looked cool. It looked like a real annual thing. I also had a video guy, Lou Bortone, back in the day. He totally hooked me up, and it was like a couple $100, and there was an animated intro. It was like lights flashing. It was like the Facebook Mastery Summit. And what happened is that people perceived it to be a big deal. And perception is everything, and brand perception is everything, and people perceive it to be a big deal. And people took notice, and what I did was I had all of the speakers, I encouraged them to send an email and push it out on Facebook and to promote. Because if everyone promoted, then we could get a lot of people to opt in, and then when they have their sessions, every speaker, though what's in it for me, every speaker could share their freebie. So Brian Moran could talk about his page builder. Amy Porterfield could talk about her content calendar or opt-in. So each one had an incentive, right, to promote. And I had prizes. Anyone that sent emails and promoted, I gave them commissions on people that bought in the future. In addition, I had some prizes. So again, I stacked the chips and I stacked the deck in the favor of those other speakers. And so what ended up happening is, from that situation, I built an email list of 5,500 and change. Over 5,500 people came in through that marketing funnel. I created a brand perception where all of a sudden people were like, oh my God, this Unsworth guy came out of nowhere. I got in press, I got press from it, or PR. I got my name out there in a huge way. And I did this summit in my first 90 days of being in business. And this put me on the map. And if you want to have your business put on the map, and you want to grow your brand, your influence and authority, this is one of the fastest ways to do it, because you're branding completely by association. And the great thing is, again, this can be done in any niche. It could be done for, horse training, for golfing, for fitness, for dating and relationships, for Facebook marketing. In my case, we've got one coming up for Life on Fire. It's going to be called Launch Your Life on Fire. I've got Gary Vaynerchuk contracted. We've got John Lee Dumas. We've got all kinds of experts, and we're going big, and we're reduplicating the strategy. However, there's one twist. The twist is that when we deliver the sessions live that are free for people, instead of giving them the replay in a members area, the only way that the consumer can get access to the replay is through a podcast. And why that's powerful is because we're going to have thousands of people that come through this funnel, get the free content, and then from there, the only way that they're going to get the replay is they got to go download our show, Life on Fire TV, and to get the podcast. And so if you don't know anything about podcasting, we've got lots of content. I would encourage you to go to lifeonfire.com, check out some of our free content, and because podcasting is a way to build up audience as well. So at the end of the day, you combine the virtual Telesummit and you tie the replays to a podcast, and you have something absolutely spectacular, something that we're rolling out, and I'm fired up to share that with you guys. So hope you enjoyed Hump Day Q&A. Bring your questions to me, lifeonfirequestions.com, and definitely make sure that you plug in and comment and interact on these things so we can help you set your life on fire.
I'm here to help you set your life on fire.